Come
No,
on.
Jasmine, there's a lot of hostility for $30 over here.
For real, Jesus.
Riley, you know I'm your favorite cousin.
She said no.
Oh, I'm trying to claim it.
You're my second favorite.
Come on.
We're getting there. It just needs a second to. What's happening?
All right. Hold on, we can't hear you. Hey, hold on. We're having some hearing problems. I can't hear you guys all of a sudden, right?
I know. It's so weird.
Hold on.
There's a lag.
I don't know why we can't hear all of a sudden.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, that's better. Hello?
Can you see us?
Nope.
No, your video is off.
That's so weird.
Yes.
Oh wait, are we?
You're on.
Oh, yes, it says live on
Everyone's
YouTube.
We figured
You're
it
all
out.
on.
Figured it out.
I think we're good now.
Yes.
Hey, welcome
Hello.
to Mama's Cocktail Hour.
Woo.
We are live on YouTube.
Yep. What is this, you guys? It's your unconventional, outspoken podcast for all things mama, culture, lifestyle, and current events.
That girl does that so good.
I know, I memorized it. I'm so proud of
That's
myself.
it. The script is on.
So, guys, sorry that it's what is it, 9:15?
We're on Puerto Rican time.
I always try to get it right, guys, but something happens last minute. It's weird. Something you can't get something off. We were trying to get the case off the iPad. It's different levels.
Yeah.
You know the struggle is real.
Struggle is
It's all
real.
good. We're on. That's what's important.
Yes.
Yes. Can you guys see the comments? I think it's because I'm on the Zoom side. I think we just saw the comments too.
You stream on YouTube,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, but that was like what happened the last time when we had a little bit of the lag. So let's see. Traffic light. Oh, I hate these things. Hold on, guys. We're getting it together. We are so excited to be talking a topic. We'll let you know what we're talking in 2 seconds. Just trying to see something if I can see your comments, because it's not fun if we can't see what you write in. See, now when we see the comments, we can see us.
Is there a max on Zoom, the amount of faces we can see? Because, yeah, I don't see what's happening.
All right.
No, you guys had 3 the last time, so it could work.
I don't know why it's
Hit
not.
play.
Right here. Yeah, give us 2 seconds, guys. Sorry. Send into chat. Yeah, we're coming. I know, it's crazy. Sorry. I don't even know passwords. I'm just hoping you remember. Okay, hold on. What? Give me 1 second, guys. Again, we always have the worst luck. Don't ask me for this password. Oh, Lord. I'm going to try one thing, guys. Listen, it's Friday. You guys aren't going nowhere.
We're going to have to end up practicing a song so we can be singing to our fans out here.
Yes, I'm telling you guys, it's always something with mamas. But guess what? We're worth the wait.
That's right.
Definitely.
Yes.
So, and you guys know it too. So just give us, woo!
Are we good? Are we good?
Hold on. So what we're trying to do on your end, guys, is we are streaming from a Zoom right now. So we're on a Zoom meeting that's streaming live to YouTube. So I'm not sure if you guys can see us, but we're just doing a quick update just to have everything updated so we can be talking to you. Give us a couple of more minutes here. Riley, guys has something in his mouth.
Yep, we're trying to make this happen. I hope you can hear us.
We hear you.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, we can hear you. We just
Guys,
can't.
one day we'll be like top shelf pro at this. Everything
We
will
can
be
hear you. We
seamless.
can't see you.
Okay,
Yep,
we're coming. We have like literally maybe less than 2 minutes, hopefully. I'm hoping.
It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait
we
to
sound-
see her.
It's like we're doing a porno right now. It's like it's worth the wait.
Guys, you wait.
Okay.
What's happening?
I don't know. All right, now that I updated this.
You guys doing any picture?
No, sir, because we're on live. Okay. Okay, still no seeing us?
No, but I could hear you.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
Yay.
I don't know. I don't think we're gonna be able to see comments. That's the problem. Like we were trying to jump over to kind of see if we can get the comments kind of going. The last time I did it,
You have a phone?
yes. All right,
See
that's a
if
good idea. Great idea.
Oh.
So let's all get on the phone.
There's
Oh,
just
I
a
have one.
lag.
Let me grab one.
You're so smart.
It's just a lag. That's all.
Only sometimes.
You're so smart.
Of course, my phone is
Only sometimes.
Ivy, can you take photos with your phone? With your phone? The videos with
It
your phone?
wouldn't be us if we weren't late. It wouldn't be us.
If we weren't late, cause we're always late to the party.
All right. I'm sorry, folks. But again,
Let's start it again.
okay, let's start it again.
Do over. Do over.
All right, so now we got it. I'll just minimize the thing. All right, guys, we finally got it all together. Thank you so much for being patient and bearing with us. We so appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Mama's Cocktail Hour. I am your host, Zeta Lisa.
I'm Elise Nicole.
Oh,
Ladies, these ladies over here forgot.
Who are you? Who are you?
Good. You want to go? Okay. I'm Nancy. Nancy says.
Hey,
and I'm Jasmine Louisa.
Yeah.
welcome, ladies. And this is the first time that we're actually doing a live, I feel like, all together. So
Yeah.
shout out to being able to do live all together. We figured this out. We hate having to separate for you guys, but it's necessary. It's hard to kind of, with COVID, all be in the same room and time and schedules and stuff like that. It becomes a little tricky, but nonetheless, we're here today.
Yep.
Mama's Cocktail Hour, and we're going to be talking great topics today. We're going to be talking about the amazing Wendy Williams. I don't know if you guys saw her documentary that she has out that comes along with the movie that's on Lifetime. But I'm going to tell you, like, I have a newfound respect for this lady.
Agreed.
I really appreciate her hustle.
Yes.
And we're going to dive right in after we see what y'all mamas are drinking tonight.
What you guys drinking?
What was that?
I feel like somebody's not drinking anything.
Wow, we never forget our drinks on this end.
I'm hoping that this doesn't label me as anything other than just a drinking enthusiast.
No, they're gonna be like, Elise always got her drink ready. right, Drake, get her two-step, but Drake, get her two-step.
I don't drink all the time, you guys. I swear it's only on the lives.
Oh, look, we got a glass.
We got a glass.
Come on, guys, it's Mama's Cocktail Hour. It's where we come, we chill, we talk, we network, and what better than to do it with some Mama tumblers.
Yep. And in our tumbler today, we have a mango margarita made by
Fancy.
made by Justino, the husband / bartender. I so love when you call him Justino. I call him Justino when I want to make him extra Spanish.
I love it. Well, these are amazing. So shout out to Justin for our amazing margaritas because they taste good.
Nice. Very nice. Cheers.
What are you drinking, Nancy? Oh, wait, you just got the tumbler?
Come on. Pink Moscato. Can't go wrong with that.
That's right.
I don't go out much. It's got to stay in there. It's always,
We're going to have to get you
it's
guys
always in the fridge.
Yes.
That jam jar. I got to find the jam jar.
Oh, I'm going to get you some, girl. I'm going to get you some. I'm going to have it right here when you come to visit. Like, here you go. Enjoy your weekend.
Done. Let's do this.
All right. So we're diving right in with Wendy. I want to go around the room and get everybody's thoughts, but I definitely want to touch on, if you guys watched any of our previous podcasts, we discussed the whole toxic relationship theme.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a prime example of being with a man that you love, that you care about, and probably essentially loves you too.
Yeah.
But he was so toxic for her.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we really saw the whole story. I think it was a very cleaned up version of what it actually was. And that's just my opinion. Because I know we got to say a whole bunch of allegedlys now.
Allegedly.
I agree. I think they cleaned it up, to be honest. And I think Jasmine mentioned this before because of her son.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to keep things as, PC and as nice for the public, or at least for her son.
Also, too, for time constraints, because I think everybody is more interested at the end of the story, because that's where we at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably just fast forwarded as much as they could to bring us to what we want to know, which is what was going on with their relationship.
Yeah.
Very true.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't know that she went all the way back to the 90s.
Really?
Oh,
yes.
To the 80s. Wait, you didn't know her from
She was
97?
dating Rakim. Or the other one. God, I'm good. I'm bad with names, folks. So just know that.
Did she say Biggie?
Oh no. It was Rakim and Eric B. Or guys, I suck.
It wasn't
It was one of them.
Yeah. It was crazy because I didn't realize that she went that far back either. And she really did have a hustle in her.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and what I loved about it is that she kept on manifesting that she wanted to get to the city.
Right.
It was just so powerful when I kept on seeing her in that clip. I'm going to get to New York City. I'm going to get to New York City. And her word was her power.
Absolutely.
And her manifesting that regardless of what she was going through. She didn't seem like she had very much confidence growing up. But she was determined because she knew what she wanted when she was exposed to it.
Right.
And it was amazing to see that. And then finally when she got it, that's when she had her confidence. Because
especially
she
after
knew
her
that
background.
she had it. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's funny that she grew up in Asbury Park.
Oh my gosh, right there. Yeah. In Ocean City.
Yeah, in Ocean Township.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy lives in Ocean Township.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy to think that she was right there and that her biggest dream was to live in New York or to kind of be in New York. And we're New Yorkers. Yeah. And it's like, you kind of feel like, what's the big deal? But I guess for her, making it on a radio station in New York is it. Yeah. It's making it.
What was pretty cool was
Yeah.
What was pretty
Yeah.
cool was that she did it in a time of when there was no internet. Like she literally had to show up to these places, you know? She literally had to go sit in the lobby of the radio station. Like she literally had to like
Pound
physically
pavement.
hustle. Yeah, not like from the internet, not emailing things, not phone. Like literally get up and go do things. And I think that's a lost art right now because everything is
Like
virtual.
she was putting cassettes in manila envelopes so they can hear her radio show.
Yo, that's back in the
The
day when you
demo
had to do
tapes.
stuff like that.
The demo tapes.
Mhm.
To see a cassette tape was like, what? I haven't seen that in
I
ages,
know.
right?
I mean, the biggest thing for me is when she sat in that office for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Yep.
And she got the job because she was just there every day for 2 weeks.
She got lucky.
What did I say?
That opportunity.
If you be, what is it? If you stay ready, you'll be, no. If you stay ready, you'll be ready, or something like that.
Yo,
Anyway,
you know, it was powerful when he said, yo, you were lucky. But he was like, no, I take that back. You made your own luck.
Yep.
Right.
And I think that's so
true.
powerful. Like even in the industry that we're in now, that we're in media and you're putting stuff out there, it's like you make your own luck by how hard you work. You know what I mean? How hard you're willing to hustle. And that's something that I can never take from her, is like her hustle was like next level.
Well, manifestations don't make things happen. I think they're literally just affirmations to keep your eye on the goal. So it's not necessarily, there's this big magical presence in the room that's making something happen.
Right.
It's just a constant reinforcement of, I'm going to be in the city.
Yep.
I'm going to be on top. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. It's just the constant drilling it in your head that this is what you're going to do and you're going to make it happen.
And it's like, even though she was disappointed and even though she was, turned down a lot, it's like she let herself be sad, but that voice that she's going to get to the city, she's going to do things was louder than that voice wanting her to feel bad for herself. Like she was really strong.
She was absolutely strong and focused. And to think, like, as females, right? I would say now in the media, we're putting ourselves out there. We know how difficult it can be to do that. Right? Because we have those moments where we're like, oh my God, do we look a certain way? Do we have the right angle? And I think that she was one of the first people, and I thought it was important that they highlighted this, that was completely sincere about what was going on with her plastic surgeries. Like she got the boob job, she got the liposuction. And remember when the guy was like, you can't talk about that in the air, because there was a time where all that stuff was hush hush. Like now there's this Barbie movement and or plastics, right? There's this whole plastics hashtag and movement, but there was a time where all that stuff was kind of hush hush. Like it was all, you done it, you did it on a sneak, you took vacation for 3 weeks, nobody knew what happened, and then bam. But now women are like, there's a whole website, and I will be honest, like there was a time where I was like, I want lipo. So I was like doing all the research for lipo. I went on an app that's called Real Self, and girls kind of highlight their stories from beginning to end. Like it's kind of like, they're documenting every stage from when they went to the doctor, from when they were thinking about it, to the final results.
Really?
Oh, wow. And you read these girls' stories, and there was one story that always hit me, and I was like, wow, I think after I read this story, I was like, I'm never gonna do it. She said that she walked into the room, and the waiting room, when she was about to go get like a BBW, or what is it, Brazilian butt lift, BBL. Yeah. So she was going into the room to get a Brazilian butt lift, and she saw that everybody who was waiting to go next, they all had their socks up to their knees because they needed to do that so that they don't get blood clots in their legs. So the compression socks are really important. And I'm telling you, I read this, I know all this stuff is because I was like researching it. And she said that they were all kneeling and praying that everything went okay before they went in. Like a whole group of them that didn't know each other. And she was like, that they were like, come, do you want to pray? And I'm like, the fact that you have to be praying to hope that something is going to go right, and pray that something's going to go right, like, why would you want to put yourself through that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sense.
And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with plastic surgery. I'm not. But if you're going to maybe a place where you feel like my life could be in jeopardy, why would you put yourself through that is what I'm saying. Not that there's anything wrong with the gesture, because some women like herself was saving for years. Wow. Remember, she said that when she first started, she knew she was gonna get breast implants and she knew she was gonna get lipo.
Right.
So when she met Kevin Hunter, which is her husband, her ex-husband now.
Ex-husband, right.
When she met him, she put all her cards out on the table. Was like, listen, I'm getting breast implants, I'm getting lipo, so you don't gotta like it, but I'm paying for it and I'm not asking for your money. Just so that you're aware. Yep. FYI.
You know what I find interesting? The way that her parents spoke about weight. And from early on is like, even in the documentary, like when they spoke about her weight, they still spoke about it in a very, it sounded to me very insensitive type of weight. Well, she knew she was a big
very
girl.
matter of fact.
Yeah, she knew she was a big girl. She knew she was, and it's like, damn, even still all these years later, you're talking about it like that. And I know that's something that we all deal with in our families, where weight is like, they will shout you out and make you feel this big in front of everybody.
Wait, girl, I'm tucking in my gut now.
And it's either you put on too much weight or you're too thin.
Right.
You know,
and
that's
a cultural thing.
That's a cultural thing, right?
That's absolutely a cultural thing, because it is in Hispanic households, you cannot be fat. No. If you're fat, they will tell you you're fat. It's all about an image. I think the biggest things in Hispanic households is hair and weight.
Because if your hair don't look good and you don't look good because you're fat, you're not appealing to men. You can't get married. You can't have kids. You can't have this. It's a whole trickle down effect.
No, I agree.
I remember one time, so, as you guys will get to know, I'm estranged from my dad. And one time I ran into him on the train after not seeing him for years. Okay.
Wow.
And the first thing this man told me when he recognized me, he was like, he goes, "Coño, Jasmine, tú sí estás gorda." That's the first thing he told me. And I hadn't seen my dad in like 3 to 4 years.
Oh, hi. Nice to see you.
And I had to tell him, "Gorda pero feliz." In other words, heavy but happy, motherfucker. He said that on the Pac 4 train.
Oh my goodness.
That's so. Yeah, I'm telling you, my father would have done the same thing. My father called me and asked me, also, have you been gaining weight? What? It's just a random question that he always asks. So, how you doing with your weight?
But why did
how you doing with your weight?
Yeah, right? How do you?
It's random. It's
funny because they think they're being supportive and they think they're helping. And they're not. And in her movie, what I found interesting was that, of course, it hurt her and it made her insecure. But instead of laying down and like being defeated, I think that's where her "I'm gonna show you" attitude came from.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's almost as if everybody kept reminding her how different she was. So instead of striving to be the same as everybody else, she just strove to be more different.
Yeah, it's true.
No, it's so true.
That to me is dope. Like she was like, whatever. Because like, honestly, she has her issues and some people are, may not like the things she does. But one thing you got to respect about her is that she speaks her mind.
Yeah.
I wish I could be that free.
You know what? Not for nothing. I looked at it as if, and this is me being one of those people who thought that Wendy Williams was annoying, who thought she was obnoxious. Because, I thought she was. I'm like, she's the person who doesn't shut her mouth. She always got something to say. She, kudos to her that this is what's made her, that this is what her brand is, and this is what's gotten her this far. But I was like, she's such a freaking pain in the ass, an asshole. Like, she's somebody who, she stirred up conflict in the music industry because she told it like it was. Everything that was supposed to be a secret was always put out there. But after having watched the show and seeing that, and the fact that she was like, I'm just going to be me, and this is me. And this is what I do, and this is how I do it. And I'm going to bust my ass to make me be successful. And I looked at her, I was like, you know what? Kudos to you. I can respect that. I can appreciate it. And I take it as like a life lesson. If she could do that shit, well, you know what? So the hell can I.
Yeah, but she also reinvented herself, you know, because through her hustle and everything that she went through, she knew she had to do something different. But because of all the pushback that she was getting and all those side eyes that she was getting, she was disliked by so many for what? You know, speaking her mind. And she was like, I got to do something different, because that moment that she filled in, she was like, I got to be ready. And then that's when she picked up the tabloids, like find out. And that's what made it, because that moment that she filled in and she started talking about the celebrities and that, like, what would have been the hot topic moments, right?
Right.
The startup to that, that's when it changed, because she was doing something different, but she reinvented herself.
She absolutely was the first to start
The
gossiping
first one to
on the
start
radio.
that.
Yeah.
So that was dope. I think it was her taking a step out of what was the norm. And remember, there was a lot of people who frowned down upon that whole thing, especially radio personnel who was like, you can't talk about that, you know. But let me tell you, she left New York City because she was going on a whole rant about Diddy. So she was saying that, and I say allegedly for everything, she was saying that Diddy was allegedly not paying his artists. You know how the Locks went on Hot 97 back in the day, saying that Diddy stole all of their royalties.
Allegedly.
So allegedly. And she was allegedly saying that Diddy was gay.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And she had individuals who were coming up to the radio station attesting to that allegedly.
Well, you know what's the cool thing about it is that you may not. Okay, so this goes back to like how we say everybody has a story, and when you get to know the story, you see the person differently. Again, you may not agree with everything she did and how she did it, but like seeing her story, how can you not appreciate her struggle? How can you not look at her as a person? Because a lot of the times she wasn't even portrayed as a person.
Right.
And to see her emotions and to see how she really is, there is a difference between the persona and the actual woman. And
that's so true. That's a good point.
The woman went through a lot, and we may not agree with some of her choices, but considering, I mean, her husband had a whole other house 9 miles away.
A whole other house, a whole other life, a whole other dog, a whole other...
Yo, the dog thing was...
that dog thing, she was like, he got a dog? I was like,
a dog, he got a nice backyard, he got a whole...
She was like, yo, I think she was looking at it like, this house is better than mine, yo.
Yeah, when she started taking pictures, she was like, I got this, I got this, I got that.
I love when she got the spray paint. I'm not gonna lie. I could feel that emotion.
I would have probably done the same shit had I went to somebody's house and I saw this whole lavish lifestyle.
You know, what threw me was that I thought she was gonna get like Wendy style, like, you effing mother. Instead, she was like Wendy, and what she said, I think she wrote their names and said
Wendy loves Kevin,
right?
or something like
Something
that.
like-
No,
Wendy is Kevin forever.
No, she said Wendy is queen.
That's what she wrote?
Spray painted?
I don't think that's what she wrote.
I think
she wrote their
Wendy
names.
and Kevin forever.
That's
Wendy
what she
and Kevin
did?
forever. Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here I was. I thought she was just gonna come out and be like effing this, and she was just complete opposite. Like, hey, you don't know that it's us forever. And I was like, oh my goodness. But she saw that he had a dog. You know?
The dog was the funniest thing because it's like, dude, you have enough time to be here. And then he got the audacity to tell her that it was a rental property with dogs.
Oh my gosh.
With a whole baby mama on the side.
It was next level,
That
but
is so funny.
I know that I like I said before, I honestly don't feel like the whole story was told. I do feel like there was a lot more verbal abuse, domestic abuse in the household. You can even kind of see like subliminals with the way he was acting. I think one of the things that kind of led me to that conclusion was towards the end when she had the meeting with her staff on the Wendy show, and she was like, he's gone. Yeah. And the relief on their face was like, oh, thank God. And a part of me feels like they wouldn't have just been saying that because he was throwing a couple of chairs. You know what I mean? Or being late to some meetings and throwing something on a table. Like, I think it was way more than that. And actually, I think it's interesting because Charlemagne was her assistant. And everybody was joking on the fact that her assistant looked so like they were trying to say the assistant looked crazy. It didn't look like Charlemagne. And I think somebody had called up 105.1. It was like, Charlemagne, they did you dirty. Lifetime did you dirty because they casted somebody that don't look like you.
He was in the movie for like 2 seconds.
And Charlemagne was like, I was gonna choose violence today. But instead of violence, I'm not gonna choose it, you know? But he has stories though. He has stories. He definitely has mentioned allegedly that there was a lot more domestic violence. He definitely stated that. And I mean, you can tell the aggression was there.
He looks like he strong-armed a few people.
Well, he isolated her.
Yeah.
I saw an interview that she did, and she was saying how excited she was afterwards when she was now the boss on her own, and she can have lunch with her staff. And how she can get like fancy lunch for them, because she was like, before he wouldn't let me like spend money on these lunches, but you know what, my staff gotta eat good. I want them to eat good. I want to have an open door policy. I want to be able to go out and speak to everybody. Before we'd be like, why are you talking to her? Why are you looking at him? Why? And he would keep her isolated. He would keep her isolated because he was trying to keep control. Like, why was he trying to keep control? Well, he was trying to keep control because one, he was obviously doing her dirty, and two, I think there was jealousy.
He accused her of having something for the bodyguard.
Oh yes,
but I think he portrayed it as, I'm trying to protect you.
Yeah, and she always felt like she wanted that because she always felt she had to protect herself. She always, like she says, I was my own best friend. So like now she found somebody who had her back regardless, didn't care what she looked like, how she did it, whatever.
Finally had someone that was taking care of her because she never had that before.
Right.
He carried her to the thing that she felt like she lacked the most. Somebody to back her. And the fact that he was there to do all of that for her was that one big check mark to say, at least I have that. He's not a complete skis, at least in the beginning. And he has my back when nobody else does. Shit,
and that's usually how
beat up Toto. Listen, I have problems with that because I love me some Toto back in the day, okay? So I was like, no, not Toto. Come on.
She looked like she still want to beat her ass. Even after all these years.
In the documentary, she was like, if it wasn't for him.
Yep.
Toto, allegedly, Toto was broke.
Allegedly.
I believe that. Sorry.
We said allegedly. So if there's proof to say otherwise, we stand corrected. Toto don't come suing us.
I mean, I think it was crazy to kind of see the dynamic between a man, and I think this is something that we should highlight. A woman who's making more money than her husband, because that's a big issue. And I say it's a big issue because of going back cultural norms. Culturally, the man is supposed to have all the money, and the woman is supposed to sit home and cook and clean. I want to say now, culturally, it's still around, but now they feel like the man should make the most money, and it's okay if the woman makes some money, but it can't be more than the man. So I think she struggled with that in her relationship. But what I want to say about her is that she empowered him. And you know, there could have been, I know I've seen so many Hollywood stories with powerful women, like Whitney Houston, for instance, right? Where she kind of threw that in the atmosphere often. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Whitney Houston. Like, you ain't nothing without me. Like, that type of thing. And I don't think she did that up until the end.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it was the last straw when she found out that he was pregnant by another woman that she made it to say, listen, I'm Wendy. Like, why everything that I had
why am I even going to that level?
Why am I even
It's like she
doing that?
forgot. It's like she almost like forgot. Like she forgot that she was made before him. Yes, he did help in her elevation, but there would have been no elevation to begin with if it wasn't for her, because
that was
she
her
is
success.
Wendy.
Right.
She already made a name for herself.
Yeah. She reclaimed herself. And not only did she reclaim herself, but she was like, and I'm gonna be better. And I'm gonna do it on my terms.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and I think she definitely proved that. She definitely proved that. Kudos to her for because it was heavy drug addiction in here too. She was sniffing coke. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that she was on the crack pipe. So that was next level when I saw that. And then also after she had an alcohol problem. But I think that kind of started with the infidelity.
Yeah.
Right.
It was hard for the documentary. I felt her pain when she was talking through and crying her emotions, because you can still see that that's something she's still dealing with. She was with this man almost 25 years, like, and then like it just hurt my heart because you could see her hurt, like you can still see her processing. And it made me upset. It made me really upset. Like, why he do her like that? I know that she's not innocent, because, you know, she's done, you know, some things in her relationship too, I'm sure. Right. But it just broke my heart, because I'm like, yo, he had a whole other life. Yeah. And she said it in the documentary. The girl was in her car. So he would be driving Wendy and the son in her car. And then he'll drop off Wendy, and then Wendy will have pictures of him and the girl in the car. It was her cars he was driving her in.
I would.
That's next level.
That's disrespectful.
I mean, it's disrespectful that he bought her a house on her money, because that's her money.
Yep.
But let's talk about the other girl.
Charlemagne was in here. Charlemagne, I don't know. You wasn't a very good assistant. You was over here hooking up. No, but I think she did clarify. She said that. I think she even said that Charlemagne didn't hook them up. It was just more of a social, like, hey, this is this person. I know her. And then it kind of flew from there. So the girl was from South Carolina. Charlemagne's from South Carolina. And she was a friend of him. And I guess that's how Kevin Hunter started dating her. And I want to say, let's talk about Fort Lee, New Jersey.
I was about to say.
Okay, so people had referenced that she knew about the affair, and she stated on the documentary that she did not. She made it very clear that she did not. Now, I have to play devil's advocate, and I always got to ask the questions.
Wait, she said she didn't, because she said also that that's the same girl. He was been with her for like 12 years.
So, again, I don't know if you guys know my girl Tasha K. I want to say a lot of allegedlys, but that Fort Lee condo was infamous to have people in and out of there. So this is why I guess a lot of people were speculating that she knew about the affair, because she even made reference to saying, oh, I know he's over there with his little, you know, things. I know that they're smoking weed and big blunts. If they're over there having what you're making it seem to be like a frat house, like a frat house,
right?
What do you foresee that's happening in there?
Right.
You know what that is, right?
Like a playhouse or something.
I know, but I don't know. I don't want to know.
Right.
Denial.
I know, but I really don't want to know, because all I have to do is just walk up in there to know.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to, because I don't want to know.
But she walked in there, no?
No.
I felt like she walked in there. It was like Did she not talk to one of the guys there?
So she had an informant, one of his friends. He was an informant, and yo, I respect his hustle though, because I think he did the right thing, regardless of how people in the hood are gonna portray him. Like he's a snitch of all different kinds. People are probably trying to find out who that guy is.
He knew she got the money. So who was he gonna tell?
That's true. So yeah, he told her about the Fort Lee apartment, but the Fort Lee that had been, and it wasn't allegedly. It wasn't just women coming in and out of there.
I feel like she knew, she just wasn't ready. Like she wasn't ready to leave him. Because you know how they say, like, don't go looking for something if you're not ready to do something about it. Right? So with her, she wasn't ready. If she would have went over there.
She did say that.
She did say that. So if she goes over there, she bust in there, makes a scene, what is she gonna do about it? It's easier to go from afar, be like, I didn't know. And deal with it that way than having the pressure of not only knowing, but then everybody talking about you knew and ain't doing nothing about it.
Yeah.
But I think that's why she started to say things, because she knew about it. But the fact that other people, notable people, knew about it,
I agree with that.
Was then at that point that she had to be like, right, I know, but I'm choosing to stick by my man because people make mistakes. Right. But because other people knew about it.
What do you think about the girl?
Before we go to the girl, I just want to make a thing. I think having a public relationship is a lot harder than having a regular relationship.
Yeah.
Because I think already with a regular relationship amongst your family and friends, you already have that image where you're like, oh my God, if something did happen in your marriage, and you know, we've all, as women, I want to be authentic, be real here. We all go through trials and tribulations in our marriage.
Yeah.
No, if any woman can sit here and say that their marriage is perfect, they are an absolute
lying.
Lies. Because I know that I learn every day in my marriage. I make mistakes in my marriage. As you know, my husband has made mistakes. We learn every day. We grow every day, and everybody changes. So that thought that the person that you married when you were, like when I married my husband at 22, he is now not the same person. He has evolved. Things are different for him. We have a family. Circumstances have changed. Priorities have shifted. So I think it's important that we also say that it's very hard to have a public relationship where you're not only being judged by your family and friends, but then by people that you don't know as well. So I think that she did handle it in grace, and she was very graceful with handling it. But of course, it was her situation, and that's why she said that the irony was that she was telling everybody's business, and it was time for her to kind of tell her own. She felt obligated to do so.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm pretty sure that's not an easy thing to do.
Nobody wants to talk about their family problems, their issues.
Yeah, nobody.
It's one thing to be judged, for you to judge the situation. Right. It's another thing for somebody outside of the situation to be judging it. They don't know
how we feel. You know how we feel when we were like, oh my God, my cousin's gonna find out. She's gonna talk mad when she finds out what I'm
Nobody
going through,
wants to be judged.
So imagine the whole world. Imagine you in the supermarket trying to get your Haagen-Dazs because you're stressed out, and your bottle of wine, and then your pictures in the front in the magazine to check out.
But
you thought people think I'm stressed all the time.
But that was the irony, because she, that was her hot topics, right? The idea of it all was that she was able to talk about other people's, moments.
Yeah.
When the shoe was on the other foot, was she able to face that for herself?
Right.
Right. And I think that when she was ready to be faced with that and had the courage to go ahead and say, you know what? I don't need that. Once he had that baby, it was an interview. I think she was on The View. And she said that once he had that baby, I'm not going to be in it to change the pamper. I want to be pampered.
There you go.
Because this is
but the baby
that was her line. That that was her, no, you're not crossing that line with me. So I think that gave her courage to say, no, I'm worth more than that.
Yeah.
Because I want to be pampered. I had all this hustle and all this drive for what? No, I'm not taking this
Exactly.
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave her, the motivation to say, no, that's not happening. Because she wasn't going to settle for that. And that was it. It was so, I tell you.
It's different
really
levels.
gave
It's
me
different levels to the
a
type of
different level
struggles
to
that she
her.
has.
Yes.
One thing that I can definitely say about her, and when we were preparing for this interview, I told the ladies is that she put herself out there despite what anybody thought, how anybody felt. And it's so hard to do that because we are constantly being judged, or we feel like we're being judged at every moment. So it's very hard to be transparent. It's very hard to have those difficult conversations. I think this is why Mamas is important, because we're able to highlight the things that sometimes in a movie you might kind of overlook, like the whole cultural thing, the whole aspect of her parents, her self-esteem being diminished early on.
Yeah.
Early on, she was already being accustomed to being like, well, you're not skinny enough, or you're too fat. You need to kind of fit in this bubble, And we as women, we understand that we kind of go through that all the time. Either we feel like, oh, we're not sexy enough because we're not a certain weight, or we have to have makeup on, or we have to wear sexy clothes in order to be appealing. So I think it's so important that she was able to kind of, despite everything, aim for her goal. Kind of just see the light at the end of the tunnel. And through all of that, I'm telling you, different respect for Wendy Williams.
You know what's interesting though? That when she's in her persona, she's strong in all those things. But when she's not in her persona and she's in her relationship, she's not. So it's almost as if like she still reverted back in some sense of who she was before when she was in this relationship, which is someone who's insecure, someone who's just, trying to do what she needs to do to fit in and to get that love. It was her persona where she did it. He didn't care. Right? And it's not until he had this baby that she had to learn how to merge the two. It's like almost she kept them separate. Well, if I want this success, then I gotta do this, and if I want this success with this man and this life, then I gotta do this. Do that,
right?
Yeah. So she kind of separated them, and that could also be too why like she kept herself in Jersey. She kept herself when she was in mommy mode and wife mode. She separated herself to be that person, and maybe it was also too because of how he she said she thought he was jealous, so maybe she toned herself all the way down so she could just be Wendy for him, so that he wouldn't feel less than like he does when she's Wendy Williams.
Yeah, no, definitely. We have a comment from someone who said, Rhonda Ross, she said Wendy was an icon. She definitely was an icon. I think she still is. I think what I got most from this is that she was able to kind of overcome so many obstacles, and that the music industry and the industry is like, this girl done got fired for so many jobs.
For real. But she was on contracts for some of them. So she could have
she was out. And she was still making money.
Yep.
That's a hustle. But that whole, like, I can't work, and that was something I learned too. I didn't understand that whole aspect. Like, you get kicked out of one radio station and you can't work for the competition. So they have a clause in there that says you can't work within a certain mile. So that's why she had to go to Philly. Mm-hmm. And what she said was she brought Philly to number one when she was over there. And soon after that is when she came back.
I will also say, I can appreciate the fact that she stood up for herself. Having gone through so many miscarriages and having.
Yes, we have to highlight
That was
that.
deep.
Yeah,
She tried so hard to have a baby and having gotten pregnant to the point where she was in her second trimester.
Yeah.
And, having to deliver stillborn babies all because she wasn't on bed rest. And when she twice.
That's crazy.
And still, at the end of the day, when she found out, in order for me to carry a baby through to the end, I need to be on bed rest. And I'm going to demand it from my job to say, I'm going to be in bed and I'm going to do my job from my bed. And you're going to give me everything that I need to make sure that I can get the job done. And hell, shit, she fucking got it. And
got it. Okay. Let's talk about this. How many women have chose and have chose, especially in that regard? We're talking about women who are in the industry, who are successful, who have a career. There are so many women that chose not to really spend the time on children and kind of focus on their careers.
Right.
And she was able to say, I'm doing both.
It's not happening this way, right?
Because after that too, she could have decided, you know what? I'm not having no more kids.
Right.
I've already been through something traumatic twice. And for you then to say, you know what? I'm going to have the balls enough to let them know I'm going to work from home and I'm going to do this from my house.
Yep.
I remember when I had to tell my employer that I was pregnant, I was so embarrassed. Why do you feel embarrassed as a woman to kind of tell somebody that you're going through that? And I'm telling you, I hid it for like 2 months.
It's like an element of shame to it.
Yeah. I had just gotten my job, my position upgrade, and I had just gotten pregnant with my first pregnancy, and I felt some type of way thinking, oh my gosh, I can't, not right now. I just got a position. Yeah. What are they going to think? Yeah. Until I spoke to my previous manager and she was like, what are you doing? What are you crazy? No. You don't put your family on hold for a company. Space. No, you take charge. This is your family. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And just like that, I was like, hey, guess what? I'm expecting, and it took a woman manager to put me back in place and said, claim it. You don't have anything to be sorry about, nor you have any explanation to give to anybody.
It's not an inconvenience.
You're right.
Right.
At times you feel like
I had a moment because I was in a workplace that was just the dominance of a male space. And it took, again, a previous manager, because she, I didn't report to her. And I just called her because she was a mentor of mine. And I was like, listen, I don't know what to do. And she goes, snap out of it. And that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're right.
That's true though. It does feel like an inconvenience. Like you
you're
feel
apologizing.
Like you messing up everybody's function. Like it does feel like that. Because I know for my daughter it was the same way. I felt like, hey, by the way, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm having a baby.
I was having lots of sex, and by accident, I got pregnant.
Whoops, my bad.
My fault. I won't have sex with my husband.
I'm sorry that I was so, I wasn't thinking. I had no consideration for my job
while I was getting
selfish.
And the people who work here.
Yeah.
And then
we did not think about them that once in the process.
Yo, let me tell you, there's also this stereotype at work when you're doing well, not to get pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I've heard that, like, oh my God, you're doing so well. And then it'll be from a female.
Yeah.
It's it's not from a male. They know, like, borderline sexual harassment. I'm not fucking with that. But a female will tell you in a quick second, like, are you done with having kids? And you're like, do I know you like that to be having that conversation with you?
Like, why would
It's
you have
like,
a kid and mess up your flow? Like, you're doing so well in life. Why mess that up?
Because it's like they don't want a reminder that we're, at the end of the day, we're women. Like, it's like somehow like a handicap or something. It's really stressful. Just like when you're pregnant and you're working, you're even scared to say you don't feel well, because like all of a sudden it's like, oh, so we're gonna do
But
that
let
now.
a man say, my wife is pregnant at work.
congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
But let you throw up. There she go, Dike, throwing up again.
Oh, I was throwing up
She's
all
nauseous.
through my pregnancy.
She doesn't feel good. Oh, she can't do her job.
Never
it's
mind, you got a
actually-
whole human being growing inside your body. And I'm still doing your work.
There you go.
No, it's true. That is
And
really,
you know how hard it is to get up in the morning while you're pregnant and
brush
go
your teeth?
to brush your teeth or even go to a job? Like, that's dedication.
bro.
I worked up until I had Zoe Labor Day weekend, and I worked the Friday. She was born the Sunday, and then the next day I had off, so I didn't really take any days off of work. So I worked all the way too, and I still kind of felt like there was some like, oh, you're in labor.
Excuse me? You didn't come in on Monday?
You didn't give me notice?
No,
That type of thing.
hard it is to, like, when you wake up. I used to have to wake up early just so that I could throw up and then lay back down to then get back up to then take a shower to then go to work, and then the whole train ride I was like this because my sense of
Motion
smell,
sickness.
and the sense of smell was so strong that I swore I smelled everybody's morning breath on the train. So I was like this.
I could smell a bomb a mile away. When I was like, I'm telling you, I could smell garbage or someone who smelled a mile away.
And that pregnant nausea is different. Like, that is a different type of nausea. Like, it
takes
worst.
everything out of you.
I've had my worst nausea and fits on a train station platform where I literally almost blacked out every time I would throw up. Where it would be, if I wasn't holding on to something, I may very well have fallen on whatever it was that was in front of me. But
shout out to all the women who take the train while pregnant.
Yo,
it is not a happy. Listen,
we appreciate your hustle.
That's a hustle in itself. So if you're taking the train to go to work, shout out to you being pregnant, because that's next level. Motion sickness, smell sickness, overall just being tired.
Yep.
But
that was one of the big signs.
We still go to work. And yet, even though I have this human being poking out of my body, I still have to act like there's nothing wrong.
No.
Right?
And you're doing your job perfectly.
And that you don't take too many doctor's appointments now.
Oh, you got to do your well visits? You got to do all those visits?
Because even though I have this human being growing out of my body, I cannot inconvenience you all.
But Wendy Williams did that shit, and she did it well.
No,
Gabrielle Pro says hi. Hi, Gabrielle. Hi. Oh, sorry, Gabriella. Thank you for watching Mama's Cocktail Hour. We're going to be going live every Friday. We are live on Saturdays on Instagram. And if you haven't checked out some of our videos on YouTube, guys, kind of go back.
Yeah.
We are on episode 8 now. We have 2 more episodes left in season 1 till we start a new one. So if you haven't heard some of our episodes, please check videos before. We have a nice selection of videos that you can check out where we talk all things mama, culture, current events, stuff like we're talking today. So if you guys want to check us out, also Mama's Cocktail Hour on Instagram and Mama's Cocktail Hour on YouTube. We're also on Twitter at Our Mama, and our website is www.mamascocktailhour.com.
And if you can't watch, you can listen.
Yes, we have
Spotify.
Yes,
that's right.
iTunes,
and iHeartRadio,
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. Yes. So that's where you guys can find us. We talk all deep conversations, and it can get really, really juicy with Mama's costume.
Don't it always though?
But no, okay, ladies. So final thoughts for Wendy Williams. What do you feel like, if any, was one of the things that you loved about her? What did you learn new? And what was something that you would have changed? Let's start with Elise, because you were saying she was obnoxious, so you gotta start.
She was. I mean, what I hated about her prior to watching this was the fact that I thought she was obnoxious and annoying and a pain in the ass just for the sake of being a pain in the ass in the industry, ruffling up feathers because it was good for ratings.
That's one perspective. That's a really good perspective, but
having watched, I mean, people love that, and maybe that just goes back to the fact that at that point in time,
yeah, it wasn't the norm.
That wasn't the norm.
Mm-hmm.
When you listen to radio, you actually listen to radio.
Mm-hmm.
You requested your songs. You waited to the record.
You put the little tape in to record the
song,
right?
You stood there for 5 million hours because you pre-requested the song and you were waiting for that one moment so they could go and record it.
Those were the
That's
days.
what you did with radio. You didn't listen to BS. If you wanted to listen to BS or watch BS or look for it, you did essentially what Wendy Williams was doing at that time, getting her magazines, reading all that nonsense.
But can we argue that Howard Stern did the same thing?
He did.
But he wasn't looked at in the same way because he was a man?
Yeah.
He also did it.
He was a shock
though.
jock.
Huh?
She did it in a different genre. She did it in the hip hop genre, and that wasn't done there before. He did pop culture, so it was different. It was different in that sense.
It was a different probably clientele because you had guys from the hood coming to stop in front of your station versus the type of audience that Howard Stern was talking about. You know? But no, I think that they made a lot of comparisons to her being the female Howard Stern.
Yep.
Because she spoke how she wanted to. She never kind of held back. She was vocal about sex. That's something, again, that they were not talking about back then on the radio. Blowjobs and different positions. That was something that kind of, like, now, you can freely talk about those things, and we as women are more open to speak about those things. But there was a time when that was like super taboo for a woman.
Talking about anybody that
sexually
gay.
assaulted.
She was sexually assaulted. Oh my God.
I think at that point she said that was the last time that they were going to shush her.
Right. That was deep.
They were going to take her voice. And I think that's where it turned for her, where she was like, that's it. From now on, everybody's going to hear me.
Yep.
No,
take my voice again.
Listen, and she almost in the beginning of the documentary alluded to who it was.
She said at some point who it was. He's dead now. The person who...
She said in the documentary she was gonna say, but she said no, I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna let him breathe easy, or something to that effect. Like she said, I'm not gonna say it. She made it seem like
they mentioned who it was. Let me see if I can find that for you real quick.
Find out. I want to know who it was.
But he did die. He had I think he ended up having like his own drug issues and all that other stuff that ended up catching up with him.
No, but I mean, in that moment, that was, and to say that she went back to work the next day as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After being sexually assaulted and listen, you know how many stories there probably of similar stories like that when you're in the industry and you're thinking you're going for like what is a business date and it turns into something like that. Like my heart so felt for her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the way she handled it so gracefully the next day going to work and just kind of, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. She essentially put on her outfit.
What would you change, Elise, about her? Like if you say to ask, what would you change?
I wish she would have stuck up for herself sooner. It's one thing to allow you know, people make mistakes. People cheat on you. It happens. One time you let it pass by. 2, 3. I think she allowed for it to happen one too many times for the sake of keeping a man who she loved next to her. Like I think she allowed for him to have one too many chances and to have too much control and say in her life for that long. How about you, Jasmine?
What I would change?
Yes, what would you change?
I think I would say the same thing. I wish I only because also I could picture myself or anybody else in her is that I wish she would have said sooner, I'm not going to deal with this, because I would wish that I would be able to do the same. But in being in her situation, I don't know if I would have, but
Right.
I just wish she would have realized how dope she was sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like it goes to show you how she could be so confident, because when she's that persona, she's confident. She knows she's bringing in the ratings, like you said with the pregnancy. She knew her worth. She said, "You want to keep me on this radio station, right? So this is what I need. I'm gonna be on bed rest, and this is what I'm gonna do," because she knew her worth as the personality.
And as women, sometimes I don't think we know our worth.
Exactly, and it's
Right.
like
I struggle with that daily, like knowing my worth and being like, well, you deserve this. You just, you know, and
right. And she knew her worth professionally, but like all of us, she struggled with it personally.
Yeah.
And that's what I wish for her, only because like her story is so dope. Like she didn't need to deal with it, but then at the same time, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, and the fact that she's realizing it now, and she's still in a point in her life that eventually she will bounce back from this and she can still enjoy the fruits of her labor. It's not like she's so old that she can't like still have the opportunity eventually to find love and enjoy her money and travel and do all those things. But I wish she would have. She gave him too much control, and he felt invincible. He felt indispensable. He felt that she couldn't do it without
him. Right. Yep. I got that.
And I almost feel like she did it because that was her way of making him feel
manly.
Right. She gave him all that control in the relationship because professionally she had the upper hand. So she had to tone herself down at home. Like I love to like go into people's brains, and I really feel like that's where it came from. She toned herself down.
So that he can feel better about himself.
Yes.
Right.
She couldn't do it professionally because she was the bread and butter. So she had to do it somewhere else. And I think that's where that came from.
And there was a lot of, and what I will say that I think that I would have changed about the situation is going along with what you said, Jasmine, it was the dependency. She allowed him, although she knew that he missed meetings, that he would come in late, that he would be aggressive. She still allowed that. And like you said, it goes back to the dependency. She wanted to give him something, right? Yeah. She wanted him to feel like a man, because I think women struggle with the whole notion of making more than a man, because it takes away their manhood. If he's not the breadwinner and he's not going out there and he's not making the money, you know, also Nicki Minaj, really quickly, let's talk about Nicki Minaj and Safari. It was the same type of thing. Nicki Minaj was the breadwinner, and Safari was the same type of thing. Her manager helping her and blah, blah, blah. And ultimately that relationship didn't work because Nicki Minaj is so, you already know, her persona is always out there. She's very vocal. She's very aggressive. And Safari is very meek and mild. But the opposite, Kevin Hunter was the opposite. He was not meek and mild. So that's why it goes back to the whole domestic violence thing. There was a lot of dependency. She depended on him. I also think that she almost like babied herself. Like when she was at home, she wanted him to feel sorry for her.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I can't do this. But she wanted him to love her. She wanted him. She wanted that sense of a man being the what is it?
Like
the knight in shining
Right.
armor.
Yeah.
She wanted that. She was loved by it. The scene where Total was outside about to whoop her ass.
Oh yeah.
And Kevin Hunter comes and is like,
And
oh my
grabs
God,
her up.
and
Are you
grabs
okay?
her. And you know, she sends Charlemagne outside to go. Charlemagne was about, you know, he's about 5'2". He was about to get washed
He was
by
like, yeah,
Total.
no, I'm not doing this shit. I'm coming back in here.
She was
Bitches
like,
is crazy. I don't know what's happening, but bitches is crazy.
but no, I think that was an important scene because you were able to see how she was like, oh my God, I need you. It was like,
Thank you so much for taking care of this.
if you're Wendy Williams, you don't need him. You can hire a bodyguard.
Security.
Yeah.
But she wanted that extra.
She wanted that
Yeah.
knight in shining armor. She wanted him
Yeah.
to come and pick her up and because maybe, like you said, Jazz, she was the breadwinner in her professional life. So in her personal life, she wanted to be the submissive and she wanted him to take control. You know, so for me, I think that I would have changed that for her. If she would have put her foot down and like we said in the beginning, no marriage is perfect. If she would have saw the signs early on and said something and was like, listen, this is my job. This is our bread and butter, and we're married. This is the type of professionalism I need.
Yeah.
And if you can't, here's the door.
Isn't it crazy though, Zeta, how like a woman can be so on top of her game professionally, but fundamentally she's still going through the same issues that any other woman is going through?
Yeah.
I know, it's so true. And we look at these celebrities as like they're living this lavish life. But I think one thing I also said to my husband is when we were watching it, because I watched it with my husband, I was like, yo, all the money in the world will not buy you happiness.
Nope.
That's so true.
I mean,
She
it'll buy
said
you
that.
less anxiety.
You
I know that much.
you want that, you know, you look at the celebrities and you think they have it made because of what they have, but it's not that grand because they're still missing that part
Mm-hmm.
and they struggle,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the crazy thing. I mean, look at her persona. She's so bold. She's so forward. She's a businesswoman. And
Yeah.
you know, she's got that powerful, you know, persona and that strength that comes with it.
Yep.
But, you know, unfortunately, she's so vulnerable.
That's the biggest thing. She's so vulnerable.
That vulnerable setting that can be taken advantage of, and he took advantage of her.
He did.
You know?
I think he put that Brownsville voodoo on her.
Yeah, and it's sad because if I wanted to see if there's one thing that I want to see changed was that, you know, that vulnerable side of her, you know, like not to take advantage of her, you know, because there were so many relationships that she had in her life that were taking advantage of her.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
Even down to
That's
the
a good
work
point.
because, you know, even though they gave her an opportunity and they seen that, you know, even the network, oh man, I can use someone like you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
They're gonna give her a start, but the word that they use, I can use someone like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because all they're
Exactly.
doing, they're seeing what they can use from her for network rating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna be famous and she's gonna bring in the ratings, but they're using her to get something that they want.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
So is it a win-win? Yeah, but in the center of it, you know, unless she plays her hand right, and unless she, you know, her persona continues to be at that heightened level of that strong, independent woman, you're right.
Yeah.
She can easily break or she can lose it all because then if she gets too powerful or she gets too big, then everybody's waiting to see her crash.
Right. Naturally.
Which is ironic, right?
That's the way it goes, yeah.
But that's the way it goes. And you know, again, if I would like to see something change is that factor. Because you hold people up this pedestal and you want to see people succeed and then all of a sudden then, oh my goodness, you see what happened? And then as easily as you see them up there, then you're breaking them down. Like what? I
It's
don't
that
get
whole rubbernecking mentality. You can see the crash and burn happening.
yeah.
And as horrible as it is, you just want to sit there and watch and judge everything that's happening.
Oh, I think it was only also Wendy
Yeah.
Williams. People wanted to bash her because she spent her life
Bashing the other
bashing
people, right?
or
The ironic
telling her
setting.
truth. Because I think
Right.
a lot of that too is her telling her truth. Yeah, it was gossipy, but a lot of it, I mean, come on now.
It's amazing story though.
It is an
He is-
amazing story.
He's definitely has a hustle, and I tell you.
So one thing we take from this, guys, is definitely that she was a hustler.
Yep.
Yeah.
We also can take the fact that she dealt with domestic violence, sexual assault. She also was a mama. So she deals with the marital issues that you deal with when you're having a baby. Her body changing, her having to kind of stay on bed rest.
Eating disorders.
We didn't even touch on that, but the eating disorders is something that she went through early on and that started from her parents. That started from her home.
Yeah.
She wanted to keep her weight intact. And I think it was interesting that she said that the only reason why she didn't do it anymore is because someone had lost their teeth.
Yep.
Yeah,
From the acid.
Yeah.
From the acid. So that's why she didn't want to mess with it. And that's why she kind of started diving into the coke.
Yep.
Because everybody knows that the coke is going to make you
Yeah.
move faster. I don't know, guys. I've never taken coke.
I think it was the whole
You think it suppresses suppresses the appetite, yeah.
Loss of appetite.
It kept her working. It kept her doing what she needed to do, not eating.
So she was working crazy hours too, so
Yeah.
it kept her up. And she was driving like back and forth.
And she said she was a functioning addict too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely had a job and she kept that job and she was always on time and she was always, like she said, she never missed a day of work. And I can definitely say that I learned about her is that first, she's a woman like any of us who goes through issues like any of us. So there is no need to judge her. I also learned so much about her and her hustle. So I respect that. I love that about her. And I actually think that, final thoughts, guys. I think that they did it tastefully. It was done great. The movie was good. And I also felt the documentary was great too.
I think I liked the documentary more than the movie.
I did
We
too.
saw more. We saw more of her emotions, right?
I appreciated seeing her emotions, not somebody depicting them for her.
Yeah.
They felt obviously more real and more genuine, and you were just able to see her in a different light. And
sympathize
I
with
appreciated
her.
that. Yeah.
I also didn't think that, let's just make this clear, guys, Lifetime, nobody could do Wendy Williams.
Yeah. No.
Because there was no way that I saw that girl as being Wendy Williams. Like, how you do it? It was not good.
No.
It was not, like, nobody can, and I think it's so important that nobody can emulate her. That's why she said, like, you have all these people trying to be Wendy, but they can't be. She's just a different breed. All right, final thoughts, Nancy.
For Wendy, in terms of what I think about her, amazing. She's a true spirit. Like, not only her hustle is just on, but she is definitely a woman that inspires. She's got character, and she is someone that definitely knows who she is, and she's always one to keep moving.
Yes, I agree. 100%. Jazz?
That's very important.
No, true.
I respect her strength. I respect the fact that she's still evolving.
Yes, she is.
And she's open about it. Even at this stage in her life, at this stage in her career, I think she's strong and vulnerable, which I could appreciate because people feel you gotta either be one or the other.
Oh my God, that's a good point.
But the most important thing that I take away from her is that at the end of the day, you only have one life. So you need to be who you want to be. And the only way to do that is to put the work in, to not fear falling down or making mistakes, because you're going to live in regret. So just go for it. That's what I got from it. Stop being afraid. Go for it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you want, just go for it and just make that your reality and live in your truth. So
yeah, she definitely did that, guys. Elise, you have any final thoughts about our girl Wendy? How you doing?
How you doing?
Yo, you sounded so Puerto Rican right now.
She did sound so Puerto Rican, but Elise can't do accents.
I really can't do accents.
You
It's like the
sounded
death of
so
me.
Rosie Perez.
How you doing? Yeah, it's more Rosie Perez than it is.
It is so Rosie Perez, girl.
How you doing?
No, but she's a badass.
Woo.
And go out and watch the damn documentary and movie if you
Yeah.
haven't done it already.
I agree, guys.
It's worth it.
It's such a good watch. You'll appreciate the
Yeah.
hustle. You'll love the industry parties. You'll love the dynamic in the relationship. It's a good watch. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's on Lifetime.
Yep.
And then you can also find the documentary on YouTube, guys. You guys are on YouTube now. Go Google it. You can find Wendy Williams. You'll be able to see the documentary and the
Yes.
Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
But I really love talking to you guys today. I think it was dope. If you
Yes.
haven't checked out some of our videos, please go back and check them out. Mama's Cocktail Hour. We have season 1 of our podcast available. We are on Instagram on Saturdays. Check out our QR
Yes.
code. We have all our stuff on it. We had an amazing time.
Yes. Make sure you
Yes.
like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button so you can watch
Yes.
all our future stuff because we'll be here every Friday.
We'll be on YouTube every Friday with you guys. Chilling out. Instagram on Saturdays at 9 o'clock and YouTube on Fridays at 9 p.m. guys.
Don't miss
Yes.
tomorrow's Instagram live with Instagram.
Yes, tomorrow's going to be such an amazing day. We're going to be interviewing our first male guest,
Itacana.
Itacana. We're going to be asking him all crazy questions as we normally
Yes.
do. So don't forget to check us out tomorrow at 9 p.m. on Instagram. We love you guys. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.